This is a Fox News alert. A lot of late-breaking developments tonight on that memo at the House Intelligence Committee. Now, Republicans are responding to the Democrats' claim a little over an hour ago that they did not get the chance to review the latest memo sent to the White House, that it was tweaked and substantively changed before it went to the White House. So we've been talking about this memo. It reportedly involves surveillance of the Trump campaign. Here's what we're hearing tonight from a committee spokesperson. Quote, the committee minority is now complaining about minor edits to the memo, including grammatical fixes and 2 edits requested by the FBI and by the minority themselves. The vote to release the memo was absolutely procedurally sound and in accordance with House and committee rules. To suggest otherwise is a bizarre distraction from the abuses detailed in the memo, which the public will hopefully soon be able to read for themselves. To help us dig deeper in this whole thing, let's bring in Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch. Great to have you with us tonight.
Thank you, Shannon.
What do you make of this back and forth? Because, you know, earlier today, it seemed like, all right, the White House is looking at this thing. Chief of Staff John Kelly has said it'll be quick. Sooner rather than later, people are going to go look at it. And now these allegations tonight by the ranking Democrat saying they altered this memo before they sent it to the White House. We didn't get a chance to see on it. It's different than what we voted on.
Well, then release both versions of the memo. This is just desperation. And what's unfortunate about things today, it's hard to distinguish who's more desperate. The FBI, who is attacking the House for trying to release the memo, at odds with the White House for supporting transparency on this corruption issue, or the House Democrats who are coming up with these last-minute objections to try to prevent the release of the memo, which all indications are will be released tomorrow, despite these rearguard maneuvers by the FBI, Justice Department, and their allies in the Democratic Party to keep the memo away from the American people.
Okay, so what we're hearing from this committee spokesperson tonight is saying essentially there were edits, but they were minor in nature. One was requested, I think, by the FBI, and others were requested by minority members. So is it completely disingenuous, the letter we got from Adam Schiff tonight, or is it a legitimate concern that he's worried that something went to the White House that was not what the committee considered and voted on?
I just don't think it's a legitimate concern. It's no surprise that you might have a grammatical fix as a memo is reviewed by multiple people. And if they made modest changes, it's not substantively changing the memo. And this can easily be reviewed and clarified between the chairman and Mr. Schiff. But Mr. Schiff isn't interested in playing ball. He's just thinking of last-minute objections to try to prevent the inevitable, which is the release of the memo as soon as tomorrow.
Now, let's talk about the new developments with Peter Strzok, the FBI agent who was involved with the Hillary Clinton email investigation, was later removed from the Mueller investigation into Russian collusion. And today this piece comes out that CNN reports they've seen emails that he was one of the ones who actually prepared or helped to draft this Comey letter right before the election that actually said we're reopening some of this Hillary Clinton investigation. Folks are pointing to that saying, hey, if that's true, then this guy wasn't in the can for anybody. Here's what Vox says about this today. It says the development potentially throws a wrench in conservative theories that Strzok sought to undermine Trump in the run-up to the election, and that special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation is tainted by anti-Trump bias.
Well, this is a coordinated leak to try to take the wind out of the big news today, which was that the FBI, Andrew McCabe, and presumably Mr. Strzok, 4 weeks or 3 weeks before he wrote this memo, had information that there were Clinton emails on Weiner's laptop, and they waited almost a month to inform Congress. And no one doubts that Peter Strzok was going through the motions in the Clinton investigation. I mean, Judicial Watch is sued for the FBI investigative documents. Strzok's name's all over them. But no one would suggest that the FBI investigation was anything other than a sham, given Comey's decision early on not to want to prosecute her. And it's not a conspiracy theory to review government texts where Mr. Strzok is talking about having an insurance policy in case President Trump won. And then early on in the year, he and Lisa Page are concerned about having the FBI go full bear against President or Hillary Clinton because they fear blowback if she becomes president. Writing a memo in a ministerial fashion doesn't necessarily clear him, and it's really concerning that there was this attempted slow walking of information about classified information on Weiner's laptop. Unbelievable development.
All right, you remain unconvinced. We'll put you down there.